Hey, I'm house sitting right now with this cute little baby. I have to keep an eye on him to make sure he stays around here. But I just wanted to share some things I've been thinking about lately that is really important to me, which is when shame and self-harm has really shaped your entire life, shaped all of your decisions, shaped the way that you process things. It's just been the dominant way that you've been taught growing up to perceive yourself and your place in relation to other things in life, and the way to relate to other people in order to just, you know, prove to other people that you're controlled or you're not going to threaten them. Or sometimes it comes into these cultures of it's a sign of being a good person to be shaming or, self-hating in some kind of way because it shows others that they know the way that they can control you. You know, when you've been raised in these ways, it actually it just takes out so much joy, and it takes out your ability for your strengths to come to the surface, and actually deprives you and other people. Yeah, it deprives you and other people from enjoying everybody's strengths because you're so caught up on control and using emotional violence to threaten and manage yourself or other people. And it's just not a sustainable or enjoyable kind of cultural communication style. And this is something I've known for a long time. It's been, I knew since I was young. Like, I'm so glad when I was young, a kid, like I was a little bit out there, a little bit in terms of being rebellious and having my own convictions, that I always had my inner convictions, but I kept it quiet and I kept it inside me where it was safe and I wouldn't get any resistance or punishment for having my own beliefs, But in the past, I did still weaponize shame against myself so strongly because I didn't realize how destructive it actually is, and it doesn't make you a good person. It doesn't make you trustworthy. I don't want, like, when I was younger, I saw it as being like, oh, that's cute. I saw it as like shame is something that that is expected. That it's like a give and take. You give and take shame in order to maintain the stability of any dynamic. And I definitely participated in shaming people, and I definitely shamed myself greatly. And in the past few years, I had extreme just shame as my default identity, all other parts of me hidden, all other parts of my identity and personhood minimized, except for the past year. That was the past few years. Actually, pretty much since I got out of homelessness 7-8 years ago and stopped using substances, that's when actually all of this shame started coming onto me. Because I don't know, when I was high all the time, I guess I was able to short circuit the words, the logic. I was able to just instinctively be like, of course I don't want to shame, like, love and peace. But I think that once my mental facility started coming back a little bit from not using substances, once my word processing wasn't kind of suppressed. Baby, where are you going? Where are you going? Come back here. I'll follow him. I'll follow you, baby. I know. I feel like once my word processing wasn't suppressed anymore, I ended up realizing that all of the words I had to analyze situations, it was all built on shame. The word based narratives I had to perceive and understand myself and everything else, I only knew how to interpret things from a shameful perspective, and that really has bogged me down the past 7-8 years. And then it's been about the past year and a half, but technically about 2 years ago, but most of the work has been done in the last year, I would say, where I started really actively finding other narratives to use that weren't shame-based to, hi BP, to interpret myself and other people, but still to maintain boundaries. But you know, I think that it's most important to not shame yourself, especially in the early stages. Like, don't try to put on this huge pressure to yourself, because then you're just going to shame yourself, have unrealistic expectations for trying to be like so nice and perfect and kind to everybody. And sometimes using shame towards people who we don't really care about, you know, people who we aren't invested in, using shame towards those people is good, because it's like a hard boundary, a hard no. Like, it's violence without being harmful, you know. It's just like a strict, like, no, this is the boundary right here kind of thing, like extreme disagreement. So I think that that's really necessary to use in instances where you aren't in a invested, loving relationship with somebody, you know, and it's just like a stranger, or it is a business or whatever, especially businesses, or people who are I don't know. Anyway, so baby, come here. Rocky, come here. Are you going potty? I'll come join you. I can't let him go off too far because it's possible, I don't know, there's coyotes around here, so it's possible he might see something, or something might see him. Anyway, so, anyway, yeah, I've just been thinking about that lately, how it's so essential to be in relationships where shame is not expected as a way that we relate to ourselves or other people, and where it's seen as a red flag if we shame ourselves and don't notice it and be like, oh, I need to change that. Or even if the accidental shame is too much, that can be a really big red flag. And to me, it's a really huge green flag when, you know, people don't use shame against themselves, and they don't use shame against their close loved ones. And it's just so essential in order for us to not be easily manipulated. You know, when we train ourselves to respond to shame, we train ourselves to be easily manipulated for people who don't have our best interests at heart. Anyway, that's some stuff I've been thinking about lately. And take care. Hope it's helpful in some way. Okay, bye.